person. Never really have been. I guess it's kind of the problem of working late nights and always having to be ready to work in the evenings. A late night tonight as well. Morning showers though do feel absolutely fantastic.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
So I've just finished teaching 2 Skype students, one in Belfast, one in Australia. So now what I need to do is get this week's video lesson sorted out, which is what I'm doing now. I don't like to overplan them. I do tend to try and do a bit more improvised, a bit more natural that way, but I do need to get a rough idea of what I'm trying to get over so that the kind of learning objective, if you're into that educational speak, is kind of met. So that's what I'm trying to do now. We're going to do it on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. We're doing a whole course at the moment on memorising chord changes. I spend an inordinate amount of time in my day editing video. In fact, one of the things I've loved about doing the vlogs is they've made me so much faster at doing video edit lessons. So this is the one on Over the Rainbow. So if you're a subscriber to the website, you can check that out. I've also, let me just pause that, just been sent this video. I did this thing about how important it was for to have high-speed broadband. This isn't me, this is someone else.
I am a professional
Here's me.
musician and a saxophone tutor. I teach saxophone.
Looking a bit hungover because I did this just after Christmas.
I also have a website called Cambridge Saxophone.
With fast fibre connection, he can successfully deliver lessons to students a long way from Cambridge, even as far as the South Pole.
More of my students now actually have a Skype lesson or using FaceTime or Hangouts.
The title of today's vlog is a little tongue-in-cheek comment from me, really, about the state of the UK jazz scene, because since I was asked by Saffron Hall to programme their jazz in the foyer events and help them with some other jazz, I've become one of the most popular guys in the jazz community, and I haven't done anything apart from be appointed to do this, because there's a major problem. It's the same from my colleagues, say, New York and any other major city in the world, which is there are far more jazz musicians than there are gigs. In fact, a comment from John Blanford, who runs the Cambridge Jazz Club, said to me, he said, you know, if he wanted to program, if he just basically got rid of the musicians he didn't like, and John's quite picky, if he just programmed the musicians that he liked, he had enough fantastic musicians and submissions from bands to basically program jazz 4 or 5 nights a week all year round in Cambridge. They do it once every other week and average about 80 to 100 attendees. There's just not there are so many musicians chasing so few gigs. So what you've got to be able to do is, number 1, stand out from the crowd. Number 2, offer something more than giant steps at 320. I want musicians who can interact with the audience, who are gonna give people a good night out. You know, musicians forget this. Musicians get caught up in their bubble and they think that it's all about playing, showing off their talent. And it is a little bit, but it's not really the most important thing. Well, it isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is to be able to give people a good night out. They want to come out and enjoy themselves. Spider-Man's in Cambridge. So on the way to the gig, kind of a weird one tonight. Probably will sit in on a couple of songs, but not my gig. I'm just there to compare and to help promote it and all these kind of things, which is a new role for me. Never done it before. Like I say, it made me very, very popular. It's a lovely venue, this, and the idea to put the jazz in the foyer was mine. I kind of mentioned it at a Joshua Redmond James Farm gig, and yeah, they bought it, and then they kind of were like, what a great idea, Dan, why don't you front it? And I was like, okay, my fault for having good ideas. So yeah, looking forward to this gig. It's Django's Tigers, it's all Django Reinhardt music, that kind of hot Paris sort of stuff. So, and Joel Human, who's my normal bass player, also plays in this band, so should be interesting. Schoolboy mistake, the battery in the DSLR has failed, so I've got to do this bit in the car now. Just to kind of tie up this vlog, yes, it's a humorous title on the start, and the haters have hit the dislikes. Well, that's the way they choose to do it. Put the light back on again. And what I want to make clear to you is that if you're a musician of any kind, especially playing jazz, there are more musicians than there are gigs, so you've got to do things that separate you from everyone else. So be super professional, you know, get in touch with people and just treat others the way you want to be treated. I was mentioning people who kind of have been in touch with me and then gone behind my back and tried to email the venue, and then the venue have sent me an email going, this person's interested, as if we don't talk to each other on these things. You don't, all the kind of main courtesies. That's the kind of route to having a successful musical career. And most of all, enjoy what you do, because if you're on stage and you're enjoying it, that spills off into the audience. Anyway, I'm heading back. I'm going to be back here again to teach in 12 hours. So I need to go home, edit this vlog for you guys. And then from there, please, if you don't already, hit the subscribe button and make sure you check out the videos that are coming up right next.